This war did not begin overnight. The conflict between Ukraine and Russia is rooted in history, geography, and power politics that stretch back decades. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, Ukraine emerged as an independent nation, positioned between Western Europe and Russia. Over time, Ukraine began moving closer to Western institutions, a shift that Moscow viewed as a direct threat to its influence and security buffer. By 2014, tensions erupted into open conflict. Russia annexed Crimea, while fighting began in eastern Ukraine. Years of low-intensity warfare followed, setting the stage for a far larger confrontation. In 2022, the conflict escalated dramatically, transforming into a full-scale war that reshaped modern warfare. What followed was not just a regional conflict, but a test of military doctrine, technology, and national resilience in the 21st century. Ukraine, despite having a smaller military, relied on flexibility, local knowledge, and international support. Russia, on the other hand, entered the conflict with numerical superiority, advanced weapons, and a doctrine built around rapid dominance. The clash between these two approaches would define the course of the war. The air war over Ukraine has been unlike traditional air superiority campaigns. Instead of total control of the skies, both sides have faced constant threats from air defenses, forcing aircraft to operate cautiously. Russian jets such as the Su-34, Su-35, and MiG-31 entered the conflict with expectations of dominance, yet Ukrainian air defenses and tactics prevented full control of the airspace. Ukraine relied heavily on surface-to-air missile systems and dispersed radar networks. Fighter jets like the MiG-29 and Su-27 were used sparingly, focusing on defensive interception rather than deep strikes. As the war progressed, drones became central to the conflict. Unmanned systems provided reconnaissance, targeting data, and precision strikes, often changing the battlefield faster than traditional aircraft. Long-range missiles, launched from aircraft, ships, and ground platforms, extended the air war far beyond the front lines. The skies became a contested domain, where survival depended more on coordination and intelligence than sheer speed or firepower. The ground war in Ukraine challenged long-held assumptions about armored warfare. Russian forces deployed large numbers of tanks and mechanized units, expecting rapid breakthroughs. However, Ukrainian forces adapted quickly, using terrain, intelligence, and modern anti-tank weapons to disrupt these advances. Portable missile systems, combined with drone-guided targeting, turned armored columns into vulnerable targets. Urban combat further limited the effectiveness of heavy armor, forcing both sides into costly engagements. Logistics became a decisive factor, as supply lines were stretched and vulnerable to attack. This phase of the war demonstrated that tanks alone no longer dominate the battlefield. Instead, success depended on combined arms operations, coordination, and the ability to adapt faster than the enemy. The Ukraine-Russia war has become a case study for